Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. Hello and welcome. We are on part 6, and I cut out this paper 6 to celebrate where we are. Part 6 of our fairy house construction project. In part 5, if you haven't seen all the other parts 1 through 5 are still available online. In part 5, we did our test, right? And we were going to build a fairy spa, is what I decided to call this, fairy spa or fairy bath. And the idea was we were going to take a piece of cardboard and cover it with paper mache and see how did it turn out. Because the first time I did paper mache off camera, you've never seen these results. Those didn't work out so well. I'm thrilled to report that this is exactly what I was looking for. If you take a look at this box, if you remember the video, it was a box with some double corrugated cardboard on this side and single corrugated cardboard on this side. And we found a mixture of just glue and water, and we mixed that with the paper and glued this paper on. And I'm going to put this up real close. If you can see this, it has a really cool texture to it, right? And that's exactly what I was looking for, this look. And it even looks better in person than it does on camera. So this fairy house that's here behind me, we're going to be covering this entire thing with paper mache like this, right? And so I'm happy that this worked. If this didn't work, I would probably be doing more tests, but this is perfect. And I think that it'll add, if you can tell that it's strong, a piece of cardboard that's very strong, and these parts that are double ply are even stronger. So it's going to work really well with our plan to use the hot glue gun to kind of hold everything and secure everything, and then we're going to wrap everything with this type of glue paper mache paper. So what is left on our project here to do, right? This is the fairy house. You're looking at a reverse angle. Hello. If you look at this fairy house, the roof is basically the thing that is not finished completely. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. I'm going to try to do it from this microphone spot. Let me adjust the camera so you can see a little bit better there. Now, I want to say a quick thing about these cameras. I'm shooting this from my home studio here. I am running all these processes through Open Broadcaster software, and I have a multicam setup. One of the things that I really don't like about this multicam setup is that every camera is a little bit different, and the colors are all inconsistent from camera to camera, and some of them have better resolution than others. And that's just part of the game, right? When you have all these different technologies that you're trying to mix together, a good editor would be able to color correct and match those in post, and that's something that I like to do, is to make all the footage kind of match. But in this case, I'm going for a look that is a little bit more just out of the box. You're gonna, oops, that's our title card. I want to take you to this is my setup here, my Open Broadcaster setup. So in that window that's below me, that's the desktop that I'm looking at with all these different cameras, and all of these things, these little windows to the side of me and down, those are all the different angles. And you can see exactly what I'm talking about. The colors are all different from camera to camera. I've done my best to kind of tweak the camera settings to get them as close as I could. But with this type of software, you're limited by the webcams. There's color settings on these webcams that you really can fix and cannot fix, and a lot of weird quirks. So maybe I'll make another video about some of the things that I've discovered in terms of live streaming. So anyways, we need to get to our fairy house project. That's really the #1 thing. Whoops. See, this is one of those weird things that comes up with this with these webcams. I get it all set up perfectly, and then you start clicking around. It's supposed to look like this, not that little square, okay? So, all right, I'm gonna be done messing with the cameras. That's a great rule in filmmaking, is that you have a certain amount of time to set up the shot, to light the shot, to do what you're gonna do. And that's a philosophy that I'm doing here. I take time to set all the materials out and set everything out that we're gonna do, and then we stop messing around with it, and then we just start shooting it and start doing it. So that's what we're gonna do. I've talked a lot on this video series about the doing, the practice. We're gonna do more work on this. And if you look at it, this big hunk of cardboard that we've done 5 sessions, and now we're gonna do 6 sessions, it's starting to come together. Please use your imagination. Go with me. This is going to be cool. Thank you for being here. And if you like what we're doing, please do share and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. I did have some feedback that I wanted to address before we get started. I was talking to a friend about this project, and she said something that I thought was very interesting, which was it takes a lot of what was the word she used? It takes a lot of I lost my word. Basically her point was, I'm asking you to come along with me, and you don't know what the end result of all this is going to be. And so I thought a lot about, what could I do? Could I draw some pictures? Could I do any kind of pre-visualization to get you guys to understand? I think that by the time that all these videos are done, you're going to see the final result in a video, and you'll see where we're going to go, and then you can kind of work your way backwards. So that's maybe my intention. But really, as I said before in multiple other videos, the point of this whole video is to inspire you, to show you what it takes to do some of this stuff, and for you to try it yourself. You got to be empowered. That's really the key. So thanks for being here. I appreciate your being here. Let me tell you about what we're going to do today. That's really the most important thing, right? So as I mentioned, on this fairy house, the roof is not quite finished. We've got I put two roofs together, and there's wire between the two that kind of hold the whole thing in place. What I want to do today is these 2 flaps, I want to maybe join the 2 of them with some hot glue, and I want to fill in these gaps that are up here with some cardboard and maybe a little bit of hot glue, so that we're going to fill that gap, so that'll cover up nicely with the paper mache. So we're going to join up those parts. Now on the corners here, I left a little bit of extra material. Let me see if I can show you that. So I left a little bit of extra material hanging out. So what I'm going to do is score the underside of this, and I'm going to kind of fold it over, and then we're going to trim it off, and then we're going to kind of connect these 2 flaps as well. So connect these, kind of join this corner together, and then in all the material that I have been saving here, sorry, I had a camera rolling there that I wanted to turn off. Okay, in all the material that I've been saving here, all this little cardboards and stuff, I found in some old packaging somewhere 2 pieces of cardboard like this. And when you've looked at as much cardboard as I have when you're doing a project like this, you start to think, you see these strange pieces and they stand out, right? This piece really stood out. It was all taped together. I can't remember what it was used for. Like I said, there were 2 of these inside of a package that, were kind of keeping the thing inside from getting broken, right? And I thought these little perfectly cut teeth are really cool. And is there some way that we could incorporate this into our fairy house? You can see that I'm going to actually take this one apart. There are two of them. I have another one over there that I think fell on the floor. So when I take these things apart, I'm going to take this tape off. That's important. All right, tape is off. I can unfold this, and I end up with a stretch of sort of flat in the middle, and then these jaggy cardboard pieces on both ends. So my plan when I started looking at this was to, once I put these pieces together and trim off the edges, I'm going to hot glue these pieces on sort of as a trim. Now remember, the whole thing is going to get covered in paper mache, so it's going to look like this. So all these weird, remember in our last video I had sort of a hole inside of this bottom, and I put a piece of cardboard in to fill it, and then I covered it. The paper and the glue are going to cover some of those texture pieces. So I'm going to kind of cut this and turn this into a decoration. So like I said, I have two pieces of cardboard like this. That means I have 4 sections of these jaggy little triangle pieces. So I'm going to use those 4 pieces and kind of stick those 4 pieces in creatively, and I'm going to maybe cut this part and make this a connector part. So that is my main goal for today, is to just do the roof and just finish that part, and we're going to do that right now. So thanks for hanging with me. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to turn the music up, and we're going to get to work. So thanks again for being with me. I really do appreciate it. It's great to have you here. I'm glad that you get to see a little bit of my work. And if you find this helpful, or if there's anything that you want to talk about or know, please comment, send me a message, and let's keep the conversation going. But this is part 6, and I'm thrilled that you're here for part 6. And that's it. Let's get to work. I'm going to turn up the music. Let's get to work. I did forget to mention one thing that is really important. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing some measuring and some cutting and stuff, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my hot glue gun here, right? And I've got this little hot glue gun tray, which is getting all messed up, so make sure if you pick a tray, you're going to use that. I'm going to plug this in, start getting it hot. It's really important. There we go. Okay, it's working. Now the next tool I'm going to use is this knife. That's pretty much the 2 tools I'm going to use, the knife and the hot glue gun today. Okay, let's get to work. Thanks.
Yeah, we are in the place to be.
guys. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for hanging out with this part of the project. So what we did was kind of trim those corners, and we're starting to get those edges of the roof battened down. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut right now. I'm looking at the clock. I have another appointment that I have to go to. So the thing that I would say to you, this is important with this type of work, is to make sure you plan and have enough time. I'm planning to pick this up later. This is going to be a multi-part thing. So for part 6, we did a little bit. We made a little progress. We moved the ball forward. We're going to come back and we're going to move the ball forward again later on. So thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate it. And if you like what you see, please do subscribe, please share, and please check the website, absolute-win.com. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to take us out.